Hi everyone, Andy Pickering here. Welcome to the Crypto Conversation. It is time for our weekly market sentiment report. So I'm going to look through the wonderful world of crypto Twitter and take a look at some of the stuff that's going on in Ukraine as it relates to crypto. Kind of weird, very interesting, strange days all around. As always, the best place to watch this is on the Brave New Coin YouTube channel, because I'm going to use some visual references, so I've got the camera on, but you can just listen to this, as a normal podcast on Spotify or Apple as well. All right, let's get on with it. So if we start over here at bravenewcoin.com, we can see on the Bitcoin Liquid Index, the BLX Bitcoin is at around 42,325 US, slightly down from yesterday. Got as high as around just about 44 US a day or so ago. And of course, the big story really was quite a jump, around a 15% move in Bitcoin in a 12-hour period a few days ago. That kind of took everyone by surprise, really. And I suppose, one of the reasons for that jump, a little bit of speculation, but it seemed that a number of Russian citizens and Ukraine citizens perhaps as well were moving some of their assets into Bitcoin as a kind of hedge against the unfortunate situation happening with their respective countries. Let's take a look at the Fear and Greed Index. It is back to fear at the moment. It was neutral just yesterday. It's changing around a bit. Of course, it has been pretty much an extreme fear or fear for most of the year. But, even so, we're kind of in a better position now than we have been for most of the year for Bitcoin's price action, at least. If you want to hear a bit more about why, or read a bit more about why, Glassnode put out a good report a few days ago looking at some of the on-chain analysis, and I'm not going to go through it because it's quite detailed, but I suppose the headline here is all-time high buyers have capitulated, and they say that amidst the kinetic conflict in the Ukraine, investors who purchased around the Bitcoin all-time high have almost completely capitulated. And on the flip side, the cohort of hodlers continue to accumulate, seemingly unfazed by macro and geopolitical risks. So I guess that's kind of what is happening. Anyone who bought back in November, maybe in the kind of Bitcoin 60K and up region, a lot of those new buyers, probably a lot of them have since capitulated, and now it's just holders doing what they always do, dollar cost averaging, buying a little bit every week. Kind of do that myself most weeks. Perhaps, as I say, citizens of Ukraine and Russia probably have been buyers in the past week as well. All right, I like this from Suzu. He put out a tweet that says, if you're the type of person who only gains conviction in Bitcoin when the price is going up, and you lose conviction when it's going down, you actually have no conviction at all, and perhaps you should consider trying some self-reflection and self-respect. Harsh but very fair words there from Suzu. And Lynn Alden on Twitter, she pointed out that this was a couple of days ago when Bitcoin had that monster move up, maybe even before the monster move. She said maybe it will reverse tomorrow, but it's kind of remarkable that a week into a significant geopolitical military event, Bitcoin is outperforming gold. And I mean, it's not only outperforming gold, it's outperforming everyone really, just because of that not everyone, everything. Just obviously, stocks, bonds, equities, even oil, outperforming everything. And just interesting to see what Bitcoin is doing with, really quite severe geopolitical situation, and crypto increasingly coming onto the macro world stage as a result. Kobe on Twitter says, whether it is Russian war sanctions or, Canada's citizen protest sanctions, 2022 has made it clear that money has become weaponized like never before in history. The ultimate deplatforming to be removed from tools for global or local organized trade. What impact will this have? And I mean, he basically says, there are two important trends that could emerge. Number one, greater demand for storing assets in politically neutral places. And number two, a continual reduction in practical, politically neutral options. Thus, eventually a greater demand for permissionless and decentralized solutions with multi-currency options. So I think he's kind of saying, the use case for a decentralized, censorship-resistant store of value such as Bitcoin just gets stronger by the day. Matt Levine had an interesting take on this as well, writing in Bloomberg. I'm not going to go through the column, but just the first thing he says, just at the beginning, he says, one great theme of the post-2008 financial world is that money is a social construct, a way to keep track of what society thinks you deserve. And I think that's kind of what Kobe was getting at, money in terms of the legacy financial system. It's just, figures in an entry in a centralized database, and anyone who controls that database, they can decide whether you have access to it or not based on anything from your political or religious beliefs to at a kind of nation state level to your propensity to invade other nations, really. So and I think, again, this just kind of shows that, as Pomp says, Bitcoin is now the only global payment system that won't discriminate against anyone, regardless of their race, nationality, religion, politics, or action. And this is going to become incredibly important in the coming decades. And look, anything can happen, obviously, week to week, but Bitcoin's price action this week has demonstrated that. All right. Ukraine, right? So what I find interesting, you guys know I like Twitter. I spend a lot of time on Twitter. Most people in crypto do, I suppose. But it's the power of Twitter to kind of just get your message out and see what's happening at a really insightful level. I'll talk about that in a minute soon. But so this is the Ukraine verified Ukraine Twitter account, and a few days ago they said, "Stand with the people of Ukraine. We are now accepting cryptocurrency donations," and they put a Bitcoin address and an ETH address. And then a couple of days after that, they said, "Airdrop confirmed. Snapshot will be taken. Follow subsequent news. Ukraine's crypto donation campaign." So basically, they seem to be saying, if you donate some crypto to Ukraine, you could get rewarded by an airdrop. And I thought, that's it's quite a I would say that's actually quite a clever use of crypto incentives to encourage people to donate to what is already obviously a good cause. So I just thought that was quite interesting. But it's no one knew what the airdrop would consist of. So, funnily enough, of course, there's a chart by June Analytics just charting the ETH donations per hour, and it was kind of steady in those first few days, but as soon as they announced the airdrop, it just went exponential. And look, I'm not going to lie, I donated a small amount of ETH in this period myself, just because I thought, I wasn't sure what the airdrop would consist of. I thought maybe it could be an NFT. That might make more sense. It'd be easier for them to execute. But and in the meantime, someone actually sent a CryptoPunk to the Ukraine donation address, and this is the the wallet. It's not loading for me at the moment, so you can see all the NFTs that are held by that wallet using Zapper, and they've got a lot of different NFTs in there, but it's not loading at the moment, and I think we know why. But you can see on Etherscan, it's kind of the address is being funny on Etherscan as well, but this is the Ukraine crypto donation address on Etherscan. I mean, it's either slowed down or it's not loading quite right at the moment. But yesterday, I was looking at it yesterday, and you could just see, there were hundreds of donations coming in every few minutes to try and participate in that airdrop. Yeah, I mean, it's just weird. It's weird. I don't even, yeah. Anyway, it's weird. It's weird that this is a thing. And turns out it's not a thing. So this guy, Mr. Fedorov, he's the Vice Prime Minister of Ukraine and the Minister of Digital Transformation. He tweeted overnight that after careful consideration, we've decided to cancel the airdrop. Every day there are more and more people willing to help Ukraine to fight back the aggression. Instead, we will announce NFTs to support Ukrainian armed forces soon. We do not have any plans to issue any fungible tokens. So, yeah, and again, I'm not making light of the situation. It's just weird that, a sovereign nation state is said that they would conduct an airdrop to reward people who were donating them crypto to fight a war effort. This is the world we live in, and then they had to back down and effectively rug people that did donate and say, no, we're not going to do an airdrop anymore. We're going to give you an NFT instead. I think that's what they're saying. Or maybe they're saying they're going to issue NFTs and sell them. One of the reasons why they cancelled the airdrop, I think, is the scammers, right? Of course, scammers got involved. I don't know, it was called, some people started issuing a token called Peaceful World to some of the donated addresses, and then so that token got onto to some of the dexes, like Uniswap, and people, of course, started trading it, but of course it was a scam. Some scammers just got involved, so of course, with hindsight, you could probably guess that this would happen. So that's why Mr. Fedorov has said, actually, someone would have said to him, this is a bad idea, maybe reverse course. And that's what they've done. And so what will happen next? I don't know. But yeah, look out for the Ukraine NFT to support the Ukraine armed forces, I guess. In the meantime, talk about Twitter just being a good way to kind of just get a front row seat into what's happening in the world. And often Elon Musk is involved, right? So I thought this was interesting. So this guy, again, Mr. Fedorov, about a week ago, he said to Elon, while you try to colonize Mars, Russia is trying to occupy Ukraine. We ask you to please provide Ukraine with Starlink stations so that we can continue to get internet access. And Elon straight away said, yep, Starlink service is now active on Ukraine. We're sending more terminals now. And and they did that. And then Mr. Fedorov said, thanks for sending the satellites, but, we're having trouble keeping our generators online at the moment, obviously due to the Russian attacks. And Elon said, your best bet is actually solar panels and battery packs, better than a generator as there's no heat signature or smoke. And then Mr. Fedorov said, yep, that's great suggestions. However, we've got a lot of cloud and smoke happening at the moment. Is there anything you can do about that? And then Elon said, yep, I'm updating the software to reduce peak power consumption so Starlink can be powered from a car cigarette lighter. So this is all kind of nerdy stuff, but you can see this, this advice, if you like, just been given over real time over Twitter for everyone can see. Quite amazing the way that people are rallying in different ways to help the people of Ukraine, and amazing the way that Ukraine are kind of winning the I don't know, the Twitter war, the propaganda war, the social media war, the meme war, whatever you want to call it. Ukraine have the support of the people. I thought, again, Mr. Fedorov here, he's the vice prime minister in Ukraine and the minister of digital transformation. So I thought this was interesting. He said that everyone wants Putin to die, but until this happens, we want to give Ukrainians and the whole world a unique opportunity to send Putin to Jupiter. So if you donate $2.99, those funds will be directed to the restoration of the Ukraine infrastructure. But they're using kind of the power of memes. So there's a meme site, and it's Putin literally in a rocket being sent to Jupiter. So again, it's just, the same way they were using kind of those crypto incentives, talking about airdrops and NFT releases. They're using memes as well, and I guess this is just the way the world works now in 2022. It's easier to communicate your idea and rally people to a cause. So, speaking of memes, again, it's just the way that President Zelensky of the Ukraine, he's out there on the front line. He's with the people. He's fighting the fight. Whereas Putin, by contrast, is, he's alone. He's paranoid. He's delusional. He's sitting at the end of these really long tables. I think partly because he's paranoid about getting COVID, and maybe partly because he's slightly crazy. I don't know, but it's quite a stark juxtaposition between the leaders of the two countries, and so not hard to see why Putin doesn't have the support of the world, whereas Ukraine's president does. All right, let's finish this off, folks. We're going to finish it off with something a bit weird from Randy Zuckerberg, who is Mark Zuckerberg's sister. Turns out Randy she's quite into Web3. She's very into NFTs. She's supporting various NFT projects such as Woman and Weapons, Woman Rise, Meta Angels, Boss Beauties. And she's gone and put out, what would you call this? Is it a music video? She's made a kind of a song about crypto. And quite something, to the tune of I think Twisted Sister's "We're Not Gonna Make It," which is a kind of a hair metal anthem from the 80s. I'm just going to play some because look, if you've seen this before, good on you. If you haven't seen it, great, you're in for a treat. Here it is. Well, that's about all I can take of that. Make of that what you will. I hope you enjoyed that. You can find it on YouTube if you're listening to this and not already on YouTube. Worth a watch. But yeah, good on you, Randy. I mean, no judging from me. I'm not going to judge you. Yeah, so just fascinating to see. Yeah, Mark Zuckerberg's doing what he does over at Meta/Facebook, and his sister is deep into NFTs. And yeah, she can sing and act. She used to be a Broadway actor. Explains a lot. All right, that's today's show, folks. Thanks for listening. Better leave it there.